You lose price the moment you sell yourself by the hour. You lose mystery the moment you answer before the second ring. You lose power the moment your door is always open. Look at your week. Every ping answered, every request accepted, every favor prepaid with your peace. That is not generosity. That is the devaluation of your own coin. When a ruler floods the market with currency, each note buys less. When you flood the world with your presence, each minute buys less respect. You think availability proves loyalty. It only proves you can be reached and therefore used. Your value is not in how often you appear, but in how deliberately you arrive. Consider the screen in your hand. Red dots, banners, vibrations, each a small envoy demanding audience. You sprint to receive them like a courtier hungry for approval. But in any court, access is choreography. The prince does not sit in the hallway to greet whoever wanders by. He builds a gate. He chooses the hour. He decides when the hallway becomes anteroom and when the anteroom becomes throne. Modern life is the same theater with brighter lights. Managers, dates, clients, friends. Whoever controls intervals, gates, and audiences controls the story. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. To be selective is to be sovereign. Cheap things are stocked on open shelves. Rare things live behind glass. Think of the colleague who responds at once to every message useful, yes, but not taken seriously. Now think of the professional who answers at 2 set hours, with crisp replies and clear decisions. The first is a tool, the second is a standard. In relationships, the principle holds. The always available partner is background noise. The principled partner, who guards their time and attention, becomes a signal. Scarcity is not cruelty. It is the boundary that allows respect to accumulate and desire to stay alive. You fear that if you are not immediately present, people will leave. Often they will those who measured you by how quickly you obey. Let them test other doors. The ones worth keeping will learn your rhythm and step in time. In war, a commander keeps reserves. In diplomacy, a statesman withholds a concession to raise its price. In the attention economy, your reserves are silence, and your concessions are minutes. Hold both like a strategist, and even your yes acquires ceremony. Mark your life with intervals, response windows in the morning and late afternoon, office hours for favors, nocturnal quiet as a rule, not a mood. When you enter a room, do it fully, eyes up, phone down, voice steady. When you leave, leave completely, no leakage, no dangling threads that invite pursuit. Be seen by design and unseen by discipline. Then the same words you spoke yesterday will weigh more, because they arrive through a gate others had to wait before. You are not a lighthouse beaming for every lost ship. You are a port. Ships must request entry. Storms do not cancel your rules. Storms make your rules matter. If someone loves you, they will respect the harbor. If they only need you, they will ram the pier and blame the tide. Your policies will expose which is which without speeches or fights. The moment you ration appearances, you reveal intentions. Here is the truth you came for. Value equals controlled distance, not coldness, clarity, not manipulation, management. Draw the perimeter that protects your dignity and place doors that open on schedule. Guard your mornings for building. Reserve your evenings for those who earned them. Keep a quiet day each week so your presence can gather weight again. Let your calendar tell the world a simple story. You are costly because you are purposeful. Practice this today. Delay your next non-essential reply by an hour. Decline one last-minute request without apology. Set 2 windows when you will be reachable and keep them like law. Watch how people adjust. Watch how you breathe. Scarcity, repeated, becomes an aura. Aura, defended, becomes authority. Guard your time and your mystery, and value will guard you. It is better to be feared than loved. if you cannot be both. Machiavelli did not write this to turn you into a tyrant. He wrote it to protect you from being harvested. When you make yourself endlessly available, you are not loved more, you are priced lower. And people treat lower prices the way they treat tap water. Useful, forgettable, always there. Until one day, the bill arrives and you realize you volunteered to subsidize everyone's thirst. You know the trap. If I give more, they'll care more. So you give more access, more time, more explanations, more forgiveness. What happens? They reply slower. They cancel more. They say, "You're so understanding," while handing you the check, emotional or literal. Overgiving does not read as love. It reads as low self-respect. In any market, a surplus signals weakness. When you flood someone with your presence, you crash your own price. Their appetite expands while their attention contracts. Look at your recent texts, the flurry you sent to clarify, the second reschedule you accepted with a smiling emoji, the meme you used to cover the sting. You think you are proving loyalty. What you are actually showing is that your time has no guard, your energy has no border, and your standards are negotiable. You are not a partner. You are a permission slip. People do not respect permission slips. They use them and throw them away. Real affection chooses you. Appetite merely uses you. This is the dividing line you have avoided because it feels cold to draw it. But warmth without structure is not love. It is weather. One day sunny, one day storm, all of it outside your control. Love that demands constant access is not devotion. It is hunger with manners. It wants to keep the fridge door open, lights on, electricity free, and your hand always on the switch. It is not choosing you, it is choosing convenience. Test it, reduce access, and watch what remains. The person who values you will move toward the new boundary and knock. The person who only valued access will rattle the handle and complain about the lock. They will accuse you of being distant, selfish, not like you. Translation: you stopped being the pantry. Remember, proximity is not intimacy, and frequency is not commitment. A person can flood your phone and starve your soul at the same time. If you feel drained after closeness, you were not held, you were harvested. Affection invests, appetite consumes. Affection says, "I'll meet you at 8, call ended at 9, sleep well." Appetite says, "Let's FaceTime until 1, I'm bored, remind me to bring this up tomorrow," and then disappears. Affection respects your calendar. Appetite vandalizes it with, "You up?" and "quick question," and "I just need 2 minutes," which always means 20. Affection is a choice that renews. Appetite is a craving that returns empty. Kindness without hierarchy invites misuse. This is not cruelty, it is governance. A city that opens every gate has no citizens, only visitors who loot and leave. Your life is a city. Build walls, post schedules, issue passes, rank access first, reward second. This is the order that protects both sides. Unshepherded generosity becomes fertilizer for resentment. Structured generosity becomes a garden you and the right people can enjoy. Hierarchy does not kill kindness, it aims it. Who gets mornings? Who gets emergencies? Who gets the weekend? Your boss does not enter your bedroom at 2 a.m. because there is a hierarchy. Yet you let acquaintances walk through your emotional house at any hour because you fear being rude. Govern first, then warm. When you lead with warmth, takers will call it a green light. When you lead with governance, givers will call it clarity. Here is the rule. Access is earned by responsibility, not requested by appetite. You do not punish people, you educate. The relationship. You say, "I take calls after 3, and you hold it. You say, "I don't reschedule twice," and you hold it. You say, Text me before dropping by, and you hold it. Every time you hold it, you raise your price not to gouge, but to signal value. Prices are information. Your life needs a price tag, or it will be mistaken for a sample table. This is not theory, it is logistics. Calendar first, then care. Slots before softness. When someone proves they can honor small boundaries, they earn larger privileges, your late nights, your problem solving, your rare favors. And when they cannot honor small boundaries, you do not escalate. You conserve. You protect the power that makes your kindness sustainable, because sustainable kindness is the only kindness that lasts. You fear they will leave if you become less available. Good. That is the audit. If access was the magnet, presence will always be the price. The ones who stay when access shrinks are the ones who chose you. The ones who leave were the ones who chose open doors. Do not chase what your boundary filtered out. Remember, too, that scarcity is not performance, it is policy. Playing hard to get is theater. Being hard to misuse is governance. Your aim is not to create anxiety, but to create order. Within order, affection can thrive without being eaten alive by appetite. You will be clearer, they will be calmer. The relationship will be smaller in chaos and larger in respect. And if respect will not grow there, you will know sooner, not later. Stand up from the bargaining table where you keep paying with your peace. Close the fridge door, turn off the always-on light. Give what you can maintain, not what proves you worthy. You are already worthy. The boundary is how you keep it visible. Govern first, then be generous. In that order, you will be loved as a person, not used as a resource. Order first, then warmth. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. You won't say it out loud, but you know the pattern. You are helpful. You are quick to reply. You are always free. You call it kindness, humility, good character, but the shadow knows the truth. You are negotiating with terror. You fear being left. You fear being disliked. You fear that a slow reply is a crime and a boundary is a betrayal. So you overpay in attention, in time, in access, hoping the invoice clears the threat of loss. This is not kindness. It is neediness wearing a saint's robe. Look at the micro moves. You answer within seconds, not because the message deserves urgency, but because silence feels dangerous. You cancel your plans when someone hints they might need you, not because it's wise, but because you can't bear the risk of disappointing them. You stay late on calls, overshare on first dates, explain yourself to people who haven't earned explanations. Then you label it all generosity. In truth, you are bribing the crowd. You are paying tribute to the god of approval, so he spares you for one more day. Compassion doesn't mean blindness. You learned this maneuver to survive. As a child, maybe love arrived on a timer. Maybe the room went cold when you asked for anything. Maybe affection was a prize for obedience. Your nervous system remembered, be agreeable, be fast, be small. That strategy protected you then, but you are not a child now, and your kingdom is burning because you keep opening the gates for every traveler who smiles. The thief thanks you, the guest respects you less, the guard inside you stands down. There is a softer deception. You believe your compliance prevents conflict. You imagine that your yeses are sandbags holding back rejection. But rivers do not respect sandbags forever. People do not respect the person who waters down their own worth. When you offer everything to avoid losing anything, you lose yourself. Name the pattern without shame. This is fear. Fear, baptized as virtue. Fear, holding a door open that should lock at night. Now choose your sovereign. Love or safety, who sits on the throne of your decisions. When being loved is your highest law, you become a citizen under soft tyranny. You pass policies that seem gentle but destroy the state. No tariffs on your time, open borders on your attention, subsidies for anyone's convenience. You outlaw offense. You jail silence. You abolish the right to say no. The treasury empties. The roads crack. Your calendar fills with processions for other people's priorities while your own projects starve. A prince who worships approval cannot secure his borders. He will be bribed by flattery, distracted by gossip, and captured by every rumor. To govern yourself, you must write a new constitution. Article 1, self-respect is the currency. Article 2, favors require a budget. Article 3, public relations is not policy. Let the parliament of your impulses debate, but the executive decision belongs to your values, not to the applause outside the palace gates. Being harmless is not kindness, it's abdication. Harmless people don't inspire trust, they invite management. The world starts to handle you like a soft object, bendable, replaceable, safe to ignore. Real love does not demand your harm. Real allies can handle your no. If the only love offered to you requires your erasure, declare independence. Here is the pivot. Your reputation is minted by refusals. People talk about what you allow, but they remember what you decline. Scarcity does not begin with scheduling, it begins with statutes. Decide what you do not do. You don't answer midnight texts unless there's blood or fire. You don't lend your focus to chaos. You don't negotiate your non-negotiables. You do not explain a boundary 3 times. These are not walls, these are lighthouses. They announce where the land is, so ships can stop colliding with your coastline. Set rules for what you don't share. Your private life is not a public park. You don't hand out your stories to earn closeness. You let time test character. Let curiosity meet your quiet. Let access be a privilege that must be paid for in consistency, not charm. The less you disclose by default, the more weight your words carry when you do speak. Mystery is not manipulation. It is management of signal and noise. Set rules for what you don't chase. You won't pursue attention that neglects you. You won't call twice after a no response. You won't argue for your value in rooms that cannot see. You will not sprint after anyone who keeps strolling away. Prestige is momentum conserved. It is the discipline to stay on your road even when side streets wave. When you stop making detours for every invitation, your path becomes a map. People learn they must travel to you, not drag you to them. In the modern arena, scarcity is arithmetic. If you are always reachable, your presence is cheap. If you are constantly posting, your voice becomes background music. Many will like you, few will value you. But when your time has terms, your words have gravity. When your calendar has borders, your yes feels ceremonial. You shift from commodity to consequence. The same face, the same skills, now priced differently because you stopped flooding the market with yourself. This is not a call to coldness, it is a call to strategy. You can be warm and still have walls. You can be generous and still carry a ledger. You can be loving and still refuse what harms your state. The shadow in you, the abandoned child, the anxious diplomat will protest. Hold that part with firm kindness. Tell it the new policy. We do not beg to be chosen. We choose. You are not for everyone. Good. Nations are not governed by universal consent. They are governed by coherent law. Write yours. Enforce it without drama. Let time collect the interest. And when old fear knocks, do not open the gate. Meet it at the watchtower and ask for credentials. Authority returns the moment you act like the ruler of your life, not the spokesperson for other people's comfort. Choose your law, and let your law choose your life. It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose. You didn't mean to sell yourself cheap. You wanted closeness, relief from the cold. But every time you said yes while your body said no, you marked down your price. You flooded the market with your hours. your replies, your attention, and the room did what markets do. It moved the sticker from premium to clearance. Respect leaked out like value from an overprinted currency. Think of time as currency and presence as supply. When you were rare, each glimpse carried interest. A missed call meant you were building something. A delayed reply meant you had a life. People sensed boundaries like walls around a principality, so they negotiated with care. Then the gates opened. Late-night calls, you answered. Random errands, you volunteered. Plans made without you, you rearranged. The chart fell in a straight line. Scarcity vanished, and with it, the effort others once invested. Overexposure does more than bore it, invites tests. When your time is cheap, people spend it like small coins, loud and careless. They send the you up at 2 a.m. because history predicts compliance. They ask for favors as your dinner lands. They cut into your sentences, borrow without returning, drift in and out with no consequence. It isn't malice, it's math. A boundary unspoken is a boundary for sale, and the auction always ends below cost. You start adjusting downward to preserve connection. You laugh at jokes that diminish you. You explain when no explanation is required. You write a thesis to justify a simple no, then apologize for the thesis. Economics is ruthless. When supply surges, observers assume quality fell. They test because you set none. First test, come over after midnight. Second, accept a second cancellation. Third, debate your own dignity as if the evidence weren't already in the room. Each acceptance teaches a new discount until the market believes your worth never had a ceiling at all. Then comes the chase. It doesn't begin with running. It begins with the silence that follows a violation. Your chest tightens. You draft a message, delete it, draft another with softer edges. The apology leaves from your side first. Maybe I overreacted. You hit send at 1:43 a.m., your voice steady on the screen and trembling in your throat. Their reply is a thumbs up, a my bad with no remedy, or worse, a delay long enough to ferment panic. You track read receipts like a stock ticker until your worth feels pegged to a typing bubble. Reactive texting is a siren. You hear the ping and lose the plot. In a meeting, at the gym, on the ride home, you shift your day to prove you're flexible. Last-minute availability becomes your brand. You sprint to the coffee shop after they flake twice because this time they have 20 minutes, and you tell yourself 20 is enough if you perform. But performance under begging terms isn't attractive. It's charity work disguised as romance. The camera in your head shakes. The soundtrack turns frantic. Your identity cuts into pieces in the edit. The spiral steals voice and posture. You write long essays to defend small boundaries and short excuses for their large violations. You ask, "Is this okay?" when you mean, "This must stop." You offer discounts on your values, limited time. Act now. The more you chase, the less you are seen. They don't have to study you. The mystery has been over-communicated. They don't have to choose you. You already chose for both of you. Desire likes altitude. You gave away the hill and then wondered why the wind felt colder. Power leaks through policy failure. A person without policies cannot enforce terms. In business, that means chaos. In relationship, it means audits. Sudden crises that demand all your attention for problems you didn't create. One day you're defending your tone in a text you wrote while exhausted. The next, you're proving your intentions with screenshots. After that, you're renegotiating loyalty, respect, even punctuality, as if these were exotic add-ons and not standard features. Without policies, disputes never close. They recur like debt you keep rolling forward at a higher rate. You had a throne once, not gilded or loud, just the inner chair from which you decide. it eroded by inches. Each time you accepted terms without review, you ceded a tile. Each time you smoothed their discomfort while swallowing your own, you yielded the step below the dais. One morning, you wake and find yourself standing where petitions are filed, not where judgments are made. The room hasn't changed, your seat has, and when you live away from your seat, every conversation becomes a plea. Machiavelli would name the trade. You abandoned consequence to purchase affection and received neither. Not fear and as cruelty, but fear as boundary, the quiet knowledge that you will leave rather than live against your own law. Consequence is the guardrail that keeps the carriage from the ravine. Remove it, and your road becomes their playground. They don't hate you, they simply believe nothing happens when they cross you. So they cross. Each crossing carves you thinner until proximity masquerades as intimacy and you call the bruise a bond. Immediate structural change isn't a mood, it's design. Begin with policies, not apologies. Policy: I do not respond to disrespect. Policy: I do not rearrange my life for last-minute whims. Policy: I do not debate my value on text. Write them, speak them, and enforce them without theater. The first enforcement will feel like a storm. Good. Storms clear the air and reveal the skyline. Expect pushback. Every new law makes old habits illegal. When the audit arrives, why are you different now? Answer plainly: because I am sovereign over my time. Rebuild scarcity with intention. Limit replies to sane hours. Guard your calendar like a treasury. Show up when you mean it, leave when you must, and let mystery perform the slow work of gravity. Your presence regains yield when it isn't constantly paying dividends. Be warm by choice, not compulsion. Say no without offering a museum tour of your reasons. People who value you will adjust. People who exploited you will exit. Both movements help the system heal. This is not about playing games, it is about ending them. You are not reducing love to a transaction, you are refusing to be transacted. Respect is the interest paid on self-respect. Mystique is the natural shadow of a life with weight. When you carry your own weight, rooms tilt toward you. You will not beg for attention in aisles of clearance. You will set your price and hold it, and the world will either match it or walk. Pick up your crown, sit back in the chair, not because they asked you to, but because you remember who built the room. Tests fade when penalties are real. Identity fragments knit when your time stops scattering like loose coins on a counter. Trade proximity for respect, and you will regain both in right order. Hold your price. You mistook a handshake for a vow. The game mistook your heart for collateral. Start here. Call things by their true names. What you called love was often a pattern of open gates, no timings, no tariffs, no terms. You offered endless access because it felt generous, and because you feared that limits would look cold. But affection rots in unchecked exposure, the way iron rusts in unguarded rain. Order preserves value. Scarcity signals worth. The man who learns this stops bleeding time and starts issuing it. Access is a concession, not a right. Think like a statesman at your own borders. Your attention is a currency and a corridor. You don't hand out passports at midnight to anyone who knocks. You stamp visas, timed, limited, purposeful. When someone asks for your presence, you decide if it serves the mission: health, craft, family, faith. If it doesn't, the answer is later or no. Authority is not cruelty, it is policy. Put hours on your availability like a shop with a steel shutter. Open by design, closed by necessity. You fear that constraint will kill warmth. It doesn't. It keeps it from evaporating. Consider the difference between a spring and a flooded plain. One has banks, so it flows. The other is noise and mud. When you ritualize access, morning focus block, evening social window, weekend family day. You make the meeting with you feel earned. Even your affection burns hotter inside clear edges. When you always say yes, people treat your time like air, everywhere, invisible, assumed. When you sometimes say no, your value rises. Mystery is not manipulation, it is maintenance. Your privacy is a vault, not a trap. Controlled disclosure keeps narrative tension alive and protects dignity. You do not owe a live stream of your interior life. You owe honesty when you speak, not total exposure whenever someone demands it. Share in arcs, not avalanches. Let people discover you the way a chessboard reveals a trap. Pattern by pattern, move by earned move. In the attention economy, oversharing is a clearance sale. Hold the line. If someone insists, restate the boundary and change the subject. Practically, this means you answer only the question asked. You don't volunteer your whole week to justify a boundary. You don't rush to fill silence with secrets. You leave some rooms unlit so your soul can sleep. If a date asks where this is going in week 1, say, forward at a human pace. If a colleague presses for after-hours favors, say, send it in the morning through the proper channel. Calm voice, steady eyes, mystery maintained, trust intact. From people-pleasing to treaty-making. Stop trading feelings for favors. Translate your emotions into terms, hours, channels, response windows. Treat your life as a set of agreements, not a fog of vibes. You set office hours for texts. You respond twice a day unless it's urgent. You choose channels, logistics by email, emotions face-to-face, crises by call. You define response windows, 24 hours for business, evening for friends, Sunday for family. You publish these policies once and you enforce them. This is not cold. This is clear. Imagine your life as a fortress city. Gates, schedules, courtyards, a throne room where decisions are made, a quiet chapel where you tell the truth to yourself. Visitors come by invitation. Work enters by the trade gate. Play has its hour in the square. The walls are not against love, they are for it. Inside them, affection can grow without fear of invasion. The version of you that tried to please everyone lived like a tent in a storm, ropes snapping, canvas flapping, sleepless. Your modern toolkit is simple. Use a calendar like a weapon and a shield. Block the day. Refuse to apologize for blocks you've already paid for in discipline. Turn off read receipts. Turn on do not disturb. Let voicemail catch non-urgent pulls. In relationships, trade promises for practices. Don't swear you'll always be there. Show up when you say you will, and leave when you said you would. In business, move from ping me anytime to book me here. In family, elevate ritual, dinners without phones, Sundays sacred. When you step into this frame, pressure loses leverage. Emotional blackmail runs into a policy wall. The friend who only appears in crisis learns to schedule before they demand. The partner who tests your availability meets your standard and discovers your presence is richer when it is not dragged from exhaustion. You become predictable in the noble sense, reliable, legible, and unpanicked. Reframe it cleanly. It was never love that demanded your endless availability. It was leverage applied to your fear of being left. When you enforce terms, you don't shrink your heart. You teach, in your world, the price of entry. Respect follows constraint. Affection thrives under order. And you stop mistaking the thrill of constant access for the safety of being chosen. I reserve my time by policy, and I give my heart on purpose. Men sooner forget the death of their father than the loss of their patrimony. Niccolo Machiavelli's Scarcity is not about vanishing. It is about engineering presence like a luxury item available, but never casual. Your time, your attention, your energy. They are the currency of power. You build your sovereignty not by noise, but by schedule. You decide when the world can reach you. Mornings and late afternoons become your controlled gates. Friends learn your office hours. Lovers learn your absences. Blackout zones, your workouts, your Sundays, your deep work are not sacrifices, they are fortresses. You don't explain your silence, you make it predictable. Predictable scarcity becomes elegance, not drama, but design. Then comes hierarchy. Access is not equality, it's administration. Every kingdom has tiers. Your inner circle earns instant replies. Your trusted circle waits. The general crowd observes. Movement between these circles is never bought by flattery, only by conduct. You promote behavior, not promises. Those who prove reliability ascend. Those who waste your time are gently exiled. This is not cruelty. It is Machiavellian hygiene. Edges define empires. Learn to refuse without rupture. A default no is not arrogance, it is filtration. Last-minute invites, declined with grace. Emotional labor from chaos seekers, capped politely. Every refusal notarizes your prestige. To say no, elegantly, is to remind the world that your yes still means something. Your value must be visible. Craft signals that speak before you do. Consistency in your look, punctuality in your steps, brevity in your messages. No frantic posting, only cadence measured, deliberate. You replace quantity with rhythm. Your silence becomes a signal. Your routine becomes a brand. In a world of overexposure, mystery is magnetic, but every system needs mercy with a spine. When rules are broken, respond with composure. Forgive once as a display of control. Twice and you are complicit. Do not punish emotionally, enforce structurally. You do not slam doors, you close gates quietly and permanently. No bitterness, only policy. That is how power keeps its dignity. In time, your life begins to mirror a well-run principality. Each rule reinforcing your aura, each denial protecting your worth, each ritual teaching others how to treat you. Your time is the throne, guard it with laws, not emotions. In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. You have spent years mistaking noise for love, constant pings, endless threads, the treadmill of replies that never stop, yet your chest stayed tight and your sleep stayed shallow. Today, you choose something different, not retreat, not ice, stewardship. You will guard what is rare in you the way a craftsman guards his fire, with walls against the wind, with fuel measured by hand, with a clear eye on what the flame is for. Fewer bonds, higher quality. You do not need a crowd to feel whole. You need a circle that holds. So you stop promising the world your afternoons, your late nights, your crisis brain. You answer fewer messages, but you answer them fully. You schedule fewer meetings, but you arrive present. You choose fewer lovers, and the warmth you offer is slow, honest, and clean. Measured access does not kill affection. It protects it, like glass around a candle in a storm. When people don't have to wrestle for your attention, they stop performing for crumbs. They relax. You relax. The conversation clears, the static thins, and what remains is human and breathable. Watch what happens to conflict. Without the anxious scramble to keep everyone pleased, you ask simple questions. What do you need? What am I able to give? Where is the boundary? When the answer is not here, you place the line without apology. The relationship does not explode. It clarifies. Some step back. The ones who stay lean in with respect. Scarcity is not coldness. It is the frame that allows warmth to gather and persist. Like a mirror wiped clean, the image returns with edges you can trust. Quiet power replaces noisy chasing. You stop dancing for approval and build rhythms that carry you. Mornings are for work that matters. Afternoons are for service. Evenings are for restoration. Predictable beats, like a strong heart. You eat before you are starving. You sleep before you shatter. You lift what you can lift, and your spine remembers its straightness. The relief is physical. Shoulders lower, jaw unlocks, breath finds depth. You speak less and say more. You become a still magnet in a culture that sells panic as purpose. People find you, not because you shout, but because you are consistent. In this quiet, affection deepens. You learn to look, not scan. You hold eye contact long enough to read the weather behind a friend's smile. You remember the story your partner told last week and ask the next question. Because your energy is not sprayed across the city, your presence lands like rain on soil that can drink. Work strengthens too. Output becomes a trail you can point to. Finished pages, clean code pushes, clients who renew because they feel held. Self-respect returns as evidence, not as a slogan, a stack of done things, not a mood that flickers with the feed. Now adopt the standing order. One daily policy and one weekly audit. Simple, hard, freeing. The daily policy, a 2-window rule for communication. You reply at noon and at 5, nowhere else. Notifications off, mind on. Outside those windows, you work, you love, you rest. The weekly audit. Every Sunday evening, sit with a page and draw 3 columns. People, tasks, inputs. For people, who gets more access, who gets less, who needs a conversation. For tasks, what moves the mission, what is noise, what must be delegated or deleted. For inputs, which sources sharpen you, which drain you, which you will replace. This is not punishment, it is housekeeping for the soul. Keep a small ritual to seal it. A cup of water before the first screen, a 5-minute walk after the last message window, a hand on your heart when you say no. These gestures are anchors. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Over weeks, the room inside you widens. You notice the quiet visitor that slipped away when life was chaotic. Affection that is not forced. Work that does not beg. Dignity that does not need an audience. This is hope without glitter, not the helium of wishful thinking, but the steel of a rebuilt frame. You are not becoming harsher, you are becoming accurate. The mirror is clean, the room is quiet, the fire is protected. When chaos knocks, it finds you, busy with what you are called to build, not arguing with the wind. Choose quiet order, let your peace do the talking.